When I was in junior high school, I was so into the WWF. That was the Attitude Era in full swing when the WWF gave no fucks. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and D-Generation X were wrestlers I absolutely loved. I would cheer whenever Stone Cold Steve Austin did the Stone Cold Stunner. Some of my favorite video games in my teen years were WWF Attitude and WrestleMania 2000. After my freshman year, though, I stopped watching pro wrestling. But recently, pro wrestling has seen a major resurgence. I haven't really sat down and watched modern pro wrestling, yet it's starting to become an acceptable norm again. But what's interesting is how far women's pro wrestling has come. When I was watching the WWF, women's wrestling was hot women in bra and panties matches in which the goal was to strip the other female down while Jerry Lawler frantically masturbated at the announcer's table. Nowadays, you have names floating around like Charlotte Flair, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. They are being marketed like they are Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. There's talk of females doing the main event at WrestleMania. They aren't exactly stripping each other down and being hypersexualized. In fact, they are giving their male counterparts a run for their money. Which is why I find the idea of a biopic about newly retired WWE superstar Paige fascinating. Paige is the reason the WWE women's division is what it is right now. So it kind of makes sense to make a biopic about her. Watching some of her old matches for research after the movie, I was amazed by what she could do in the ring. She was the modern day Lita in that she knew her way around a ring and wasn't just tits and ass. Fighting with My Family tells the story of the Bevis family, a tight-knit family of pro wrestlers who put on tiny shows in the English town of Norwich. Paige and Zack Zodiac are asked to audition for the WWE, but only Paige gets picked. Paige then walks into a world where she is the odd woman out. Of all the films I've seen so far this year, Fighting with My Family is my favorite. Writer/director/co-star Stephen Merchant understands what makes the Bevis family tick with a hilarious and heartfelt story. As 8 Rocky films can tell you, I'm a sucker for the Rocky formula. So I can get behind the idea of a female Rocky movie. Fighting with My Family is exactly that. Merchant understands that these are people who worship pro wrestling. Nick Frost's character, Ricky Knight, explicitly calls it his religion. This is by no means a toddlers and tiaras situation in that they are being exploited by stage parents. At the end of the day, this family still has each other's backs. I actually thought that the real Paige played herself in this film. That's a testament to how well Florence Pugh nails the character of Paige. She captures her confidence, insecurities, and ring moves very well. It's not just Paige, it's the family that makes this film work. Whenever I see Nick Frost in something, I'm totally happy. It's nice to see him in a major role that plays to his strengths. Here he plays Ricky Knight, the heavily tattooed and mohawk patriarch of the Bevis family. Lena Headey is absolutely brilliant as Sweet Soraya, the matriarch of the family. But the most interesting character of the film is Zack Zodiac, played by British actor Jack Lowden. His character has the most fascinating arc of the film. Lowden nails this role. This cast felt like an honest-to-God family. Each actor has such a chemistry with each other and bounce off each other beautifully. I also really love seeing Vince Vaughn use both of his comedic and character actor chops in the role of Hutch, a tough-as-nails NXT coach who actually sees Paige's potential. Most people tend to think of Vaughn as the funny guy, but when he is given a substantive role, he will give it his all. But the MVP is Stephen Merchant himself. While writing this fantastic script, he also captures the grittiness of Norwich, which adds to the backstory of Paige. Not to mention, he has the best role of the movie as a stuffy, uptight father to Zack Zodiac's girlfriend. However, in doing my research for this film, I stumbled upon the actual match that is the climax. Let's just say you could have used footage from the actual match if you were going to get the match wrong. Another issue I have is at times it feels like a commercial for the WWE, right down to The Rock's appearance. He has no business being on the poster with how long he is in this film. Speaking of the poster, as an overall whole, I really liked Fighting with My Family. This film reminded me as to why I watched pro wrestling in the first place. It treats pro wrestling with actual respect and not as a joke. Even though Paige went through a lot of shit in the past couple years, specifically new videos of her leaking and a neck injury that forced her to retire, I have a newfound respect for her after watching this. She truly deserves to be talked about as a future great in the wrestling world in a career that was cut tragically short. I'm going to give Fighting with My Family a 4 out of 5. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and spread the word of New Realms Media. Follow me on all my socials at New Realms Media. Until then, I'll see you next time.